sending alone conversations with a stranger I barely know, swearing this will be the last, but it probably won't. I got nothing left to lose or use, or do my bad habits lead to white eyes staring into space? And I know I lose control of the things that I say. Yeah, I was looking for a way out, now I can't escape. Nothing happens after two, it's true, my bad habits lead to you. My bad habits lead to you. My bad habits lead to you.
Only the best.
I just need to get it off my chest. Yeah, more than you know. Yeah, more than you know. You should know that, baby, you're the best. Yeah, more than you know. Yeah, more than you know. I saw it coming from miles away. I better speak up if I got something to say, 'cause it ain't over until she sings. You had your reasons, you had a few, but you know that I would go anywhere for you, 'cause it ain't over until she sings. I just need to get it off my chest. Yeah, more than you know. Yeah, more than you know. You should know that, baby, you're the best. Yeah, more than you know. Yeah, more than you know.
I'm just a little bit perturbed.
Your good intentions are sweet and pure, but they can never tame a fire like yours. No, it ain't over until she sings. Yeah. Right where you want it, down on my knees. You got me begging, pretty baby, set me free, 'cause it ain't over until she sings. Come a little closer, let me taste your smile, until the morning lights. Ain't no going back the way you look tonight. I see it in your eyes. I just need to get it off my chest. Yeah, more than you know. Yeah, more than you know. You should know that, baby, you're the best. Yeah, more than you know. 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 Yeah, more than I just
Only the best.
This is your radio, your station.
Only the best.
I will always remember the day you kissed my lips, light as a
He's a Florida man, Lou.
It went just like this. No, it's never been better than the summer of 2002. we were only 11, but acting like grown-ups, like we are in the present. Drinking from plastic cups, singing love is forever and never. Well, I guess that was true. Dancing on the hood in the middle of the woods of an old Mustang, where we sang songs with all our childhood friends. And it went like this, say, oops, I got 99 problems singing bye, bye, bye. Hold up, if you wanna go and take a ride with me, better hit me, baby, one more time. Paint a picture for you and me on the days when we were young, singing off the top of both our lungs. Now we're under the covers. Fast forward to 18, we are more than lovers. Yeah, we are all we need when we're holding each other. I'm taken back to 2002. Yeah, dancing on the hood in the middle of the woods of an old Mustang, where we sang songs with all our childhood friends. And it went like this, say, oops, I got 99 problems singing bye, bye, bye. Hold up, if you wanna go and take a ride with me, better hit me, baby, one more time. Paint a picture for you and me on the days when we were young, singing off the top of both our lungs on the day we fell in love. On the day we fell in love. Dancing on the hood in the middle of the woods of an old Mustang, where we sang songs with all our childhood friends. Oh, now, oops, I got 99 problems singing bye, bye, bye. Hold up, if you wanna go and take a ride with me, better hit me, baby, one more time. Paint a picture for you and me on the days when we were young, singing at the top of both our lungs on the day we fell in love. 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 Love, love.
Only the best.
Yeah, now we got me all like, I hate waking up alone. Call me when you're heading home. I got things I need to say that I can say to you over the telephone. 4 or 5 glasses all alone. Boys and girls just come and go. I haven't seen you for a minute. I don't like it, not at all. One thing that I know is as hard as I try, I can't face the thought of you not being in my life. Regardless of the tears I cry for you today, regardless of the words you sing but never say, you're always in my mind somehow, whether we're up or down. Regardless. Oh, no, this house is not a home when I'm sleeping all alone. I'm used to heaven, I'm a hoe. Then I can touch you through the phone. Even when you drink me cold, I still got your t-shirt on. Haven't seen you for a minute, no. I don't like it, not at all. One thing that I know is as hard as I try, I can't face the thought of you not being in my life. Oh, yeah. Regardless of the tears I cry for you today, regardless of the words you sing but never say, you're always in my mind somehow, whether we're up or down. Regardless. Oh, around, make a girl feel so crazy. The things that you do to me, ooh, it's as if you don't rape me. Baby, don't play me. This ain't no game to me. Regardless of the tears, I cry for you today. Regardless of the words that you think but never say, you're always in my mind somehow. Whether we're up or down, regardless, regardless. Oh,
Only the best.
Smooth like butter, like a criminal undercover. Don't pop like trouble, breaking into your heart like that. Cool shade stunner, yeah, owe it all to my mother. High like summer. I got the superstar glow, so to the boogie. A side step right left to my beat. I like the moon rock with me, baby. Know that I got that heat. Let me show you, 'cause talk is cheap. Side step right left to my beat. Get it, let it roll. Smooth like butter, pour you in like no other. Don't need no usher to remind me you got it bad. Ain't no other that could sweep you up like a rubber. Straight up, I gotcha, making you fall like that. Break it down. Ooh, when I look in the mirror, I'm with your heart into two. I got the superstar glow, so ooh, to the boogie line. Side step right left to my beat. I like the moon rock with me, baby. Know that I got that heat. Let me show you, 'cause talk is cheap. A side step right left to my beat. Get it, let it roll. Get it, let it roll. Get it, let it roll.
Ice on my wrist, I'm the nice guy. Got the right body and the right mind. Rolling up the party, got the right vibes. Move like haters. Fresh boy, pull up and we lay low. All the players get moving with the bass low. Got the army right behind us when we say so. Let's go.
Side step right left to my beat. I like the moon rock with me, baby. Know that I got that heat. Let me show you, 'cause talk is cheap. Side step right left to my beat. Get it, let it roll.
Cool like, cool shade. And you know we don't stop. How like, ain't no. You been like, oh my God. We gon' make it rock in his head. We gon' make it bounce in his head. Hotter, sweeter, cooler, butter.
Get it, let it roll.
Only the best.
Prisoner, prisoner, locked up, can't get you off my mind, off my mind. Lord knows I tried a million times, million times. Oh, oh, why can't you just let me go?
strung out on a feeling. My hands are tied. Your face on my ceiling. I fantasize. Oh, I can't control it. I can't control it. I try to replace it with city lights. I'll never escape it. I need the high. Oh,
best.
Wanna believe that you don't have a bad bone in your body, but the bruises on your ego make you go wow, 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 yeah. Wanna believe that even when you're stone cold, you're sorry. Tell me why you gotta be so out of your mind, yeah. I know you're choking on your fears. Already told you I'm right here. I will stay by your side every night. I don't know why you hide from the one. Can close your eyes to the one that's up and lie to the one that you love. When you know you can cry to the one, always confide in the one. You can be kind to the one that you love. I know you need the upper hand even when we aren't fighting. Cause in the past you had to prepare every time, yeah. Don't wanna leave, but if you're gonna fight then do it for me. I know you built a love but broken down, so just try, yeah. I know you're choking on your fears. Already told you I'm right here. I will stay by your side every night. I don't know where you hide from the one. Can close your eyes to the one that's up and lie to the one that you love. When you know you can cry to the one, always confide in the one. You can be kind to the one that you love. I know it's hard for you, but it's not fair. Going sick in the head, trying to get you there. And I know it's hard for you, but it's not fair. It's not fair. I don't know why you hide from the one. Can't close your eyes to the one, mess up and lie to the one that you love. When you know you can cry to the one, always confide in the one. You can be kind to the one that you love. When you know you can cry to the one, always confide in the one. You can be kind to the one that you love.
Only the best.
Baby, I'm jealous. Went from beautiful to ugly, cause insecurity told me you don't love me. All it takes is a girl above me on your timeline to make me nothing. This is me, a woman in dichotomy. I love me until I don't. Baby, I'm jealous of the pictures that you like. Baby, I'm jealous of the girls with lighter eyes. Baby, I'm jealous, and I know that it ain't right, but I'm jealous, jealous kind. I'm jelly on a plate. Sunny side up, I got egg on my face. Waist trainer for a tinier waist, but I can't help it if I like the way food tastes. Hey, this is me, a woman in dichotomy. I love me until I don't. My apologies for looking on your history. I'm trying to let it go. Baby, I'm jealous of the pictures that you like. Baby, I'm jealous of the girls with lighter eyes. Baby, I'm jealous, and I know that it ain't right, but I'm jealous, the jealous kind.
That chick can't be that chick, baby, I'm a bad bitch. If he fiendin', I'll probably get a catfish. Keep him dreamin' to pull up on a nap shit. I don't even be asking him who that chick, who that chick, nah. That's pitiful, that's so average, why? Some women want men and some girls want wise. Tell lies until they buggin' and they pants on fire. I stole your man, he got freedom to chase what he likes. I know you're mad, but he ain't even worth none of your time. It's such a drag. I'm not being spiteful, but his trash won't be the last to let you know. But he
pictures that you like. Baby, I'm jealous of the girls with lighter eyes. Baby, I'm jealous, and I know that it ain't right, but you like them jealous, yeah, jealous, yeah.
Good morning. It's Uncle Lou here. Yep, that's right. It is me, Uncle Lou. Live on LouTube, 2 days away from more college football. Happy Tuesday morning. Week 1 kicks off Thursday night. 5 straight days of games. Facts. 5 straight days of games. It's pretty exciting. Florida's a Thursday school, so they play Thursday at Utah. At Utah. I think that game's at 8. Anybody think Florida winning that one? Let's see. Let me know. How y'all doing? Happy Tuesday. What's going on this week besides football? Anybody up to anything exciting? Who's got their room reserved for the Vegas trip? I do. Pete does. It might end up being a couple's trip. It's just me and Pete. You think Florida has a decent shot? Well, we're going to find out in a couple of days. Gonna find out in a couple of days. I'm still getting tags on Twitter every day with people asking me if Florida State's still in the ACC. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. The elevation will be a problem for Florida, says Kevin the Bacon. Vandy Dandy says, I was staying at New York for the Vandy UNLV game, week 3. But they have Legionnaire's disease. Yeah, there's other hotels there. I think this year Florida loses their no shutout streak. That's a bold prediction there. It's a bold prediction to predict anybody to be shut out. It's so hard to shut somebody out defensively, which, of course, then means it's hard to be shut out offensively. Joey, that's Josh Pate level optimism right there, buddy. That is Josh Pate level optimism. Let's see. 5-7 last year. You see 6 wins here? Well, you better beat Duquesne. Is Duquesne the only game you'll be favored in? There's not 6 wins there. There might not even be half of 6 wins there. Starting 1-4. You're starting 1-4 before the bye week. You see 5 wins for sure. Oh, boy. Got to get them eyes checked, man. There aren't, in no world are there definitely or for sure 5 wins on that schedule. In no world. There's not even 5 toss-ups on that schedule. Come on. Which of these 5 games are for sure wins? I'll give you Duquesne. None of these other first 5 games are for sure. So where's the other 4? I know you're saying Houston? I'm guessing. Well, what else? Man, come on. You need to take the Homer shades off. You think Pitt is a for sure win? Wow. Come on, man. Come on. I tell you what I'll do. I'll bet you $100 on each one of those 5 games that you think is a for sure win. That's easy money for you. Those aren't games you said you think you might win, toss-ups, games you said you think you could win. I'll bet you $100 on each of those 5 games will settle up at the end of the season, whoever's up. Or $50 or a game or whatever you want to do. Five for sure wins. Come on, man. Who is Utah's coach? Whittingham. Whittingham. Who has more wins, Florida or West Virginia? Florida. Florida. Yeah, I've seen Oppenheimer. Great movie. But I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan. I only see one game on that schedule where West Virginia will be favored, so I just don't understand the whole 5 for sure wins deal. $25 per game on those 5. All right, and we'll just settle up at the end of the season. If it's 3-2, then somebody owes the other $25. You know what I'm saying? Instead of sending $25 back and forth all throughout the course of the season, we'll just settle up at the end of the year. If West Virginia wins 3 of those 5, then I owe you $25. Does that make sense? We can't let Jackpot retire from YouTube. He's a national treasure. He's a national treasure. Let me look at those 5 games you said again, just so I don't forget. So it's Duquesne, Pitt, and the 3 new teams besides Central Florida. Okay. All right. Yeah, we can't let Jackpot retire. I agree with you there. Now, I'm a little disappointed. I asked for people to call into Jackpot's show the other night and beg him not to quit YouTube, and no one did it but me. And that made me a little bit mad. You might even say I was perturbed.
I'm just a little bit perturbed.
But you have to understand, when people do these types of things, listen, here's the deal. And I love Jackpot to death, but I've seen this same move a million times, whether it be on YouTube, whatever else. Nobody goes on social media to announce that they're leaving social media in a year. That actually means it. That's just, it's attention seeking. It's it's someone looking to be patted on the head. That's what it is. I don't check my Facebook messages, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you send me a Facebook message, it's liable to sit there till kingdom come. You need to email me. So that's the deal with that. When people make a YouTube video saying, I'm leaving YouTube in a year, they're not going anywhere. It's a self-esteem deal. They're looking for you to tell them how much you don't want them to leave. He deleted the video. It's not up anymore, but he made a video that he's just frustrated with the whole YouTube thing, and I don't want to get it. Really, it was kind of an embarrassing video. He never should have made it. But he did. And he deleted it. Well, he says he didn't delete it. He said put it on private. But in any case, you can't watch it now. But, we've all seen people do this before. It's one of those things where, I don't understand why this person has this many subscribers and this person gets this many views, and I only have this many subscribers and I only get this many views. And if I had the time to do what this person has the time to do, then I'd have 1 billion subscribers and 1 billion views, but I don't because I work. And, he also proclaimed himself the smartest college football YouTuber when it comes to college football knowledge. And hell, he might be. All I know. He specifically said he was smarter than Josh Pate. He wasn't really rude to anybody or like talking trash about anybody. It doesn't matter what he said in the video. The point is he made a video saying he's quitting YouTube in a year. And when people do that, they're not quitting YouTube in a year. They're just, for whatever reason, they're feeling down about themselves, and they want a bunch of people to show up and tell them how much, how important you're important to us. Please don't leave. We love you, Jackpot. You make amazing videos, that kind of thing. I've seen it 1 million times. He's not going anywhere. But we still need to call him nonstop and just beg him not to quit and retire. Yeah, that's right, Joey. And they literally don't do anything at all to grow their channel. They don't understand why they don't create a channel, do a live stream, do a live stream for 8 people, and then they can't figure out why they don't have 1 million views and 1 million subs. The email's in the description of all my videos, including this one. Yeah, Doobie. He rattled off a whole list of people that he's smarter than, but that was one of them. His game streams are gold. Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it for since I found Jackpot. I've been telling anybody that'll listen. He's got the best live game reactions of anybody on YouTube when it comes to South Carolina. I think both things can be true, Joey. I think Notre Dame looked really good, and I think Navy is really that bad. But that doesn't mean that Notre Dame's not as good as they looked. I mean, you hold Navy to 120 yards rushing. That's an accomplishment. Offensively, I thought they looked good. I mean, Sam Hartman is clearly the best quarterback Notre Dame. I mean, most people knew this for 6 months, that Sam Hartman is the best quarterback Notre Dame's had in forever. Some people needed to see him play a game. And then you got some people, some people can't tell if a team is any good or not unless they play the 1985 Bears. You should be able to watch a team play and tell whether or not they're good, regardless of who they're playing. That gets back to the whole who have they played deal, If anybody watched the Notre Dame game and still can't tell if Notre Dame's any good, then I don't know if there's any help for them at all. Now, that doesn't mean Notre Dame's going 12-0 and making the playoffs and winning the national title. They might. I mean, I'm not saying, but I'm not saying they won't, but it doesn't mean they are. But they clearly looked really good and are really good. That's right, Hurst. You got that one right. Yeah, there's nobody you can watch play in week 1 and say that's the national title winner. Now, last year after week 3, I said that about Georgia. After the South Carolina game. But that was 2 Power 5 wins, not a win over Navy. Oh, yeah, good morning. Good morning. Notre Dame showed no weaknesses in that game, which is a good sign for them. USC, however, showed some weaknesses already. That's not good. Yeah, that's the thing. And I can't remember if it was one of the videos I made that day or if it was the Your Season is Over video on Sunday. I made a similar point. I'm like, look, Notre Dame and Southern Cal are both top 10, top 15 teams, depending on what you think about them. They both played below average group of 5 teams. Notre Dame won 103 or whatever it was. Looked amazing. Sam Hartman looked at least as good as Caleb Williams in that one particular week. Notre Dame's defense was unbelievable. They had a freshman wide receiver that showed out. The defense held a triple option team that was top 5 in rushing last year to 120 yards. They averaged 250 yards a game last year. Navy did. 120 against Notre Dame. And then you've got Southern Cal against San Jose State. They give up 400 yards, which is over 100. Southern Cal gave up over 100 yards more to San Jose State than Georgia gave up to the number 1 offense in the country last year, Tennessee. I mean, if you can't tell the difference from watching those two games. Well, let me ask you all this. If Notre Dame and Southern Cal were playing tomorrow, who would you pick to win? I'd pick Notre Dame. If now they're not playing tomorrow, and I picked Southern Cal in the preseason, but based off of what we saw in one game, Notre Dame looked like a better team. Now, all teams change over the course of a season. You know, some get better, some get worse. You're going to have injuries here or there. Different things can happen over the course of a season to change your mind about teams. But that was what Notre Dame did to Navy was impressive. What Southern Cal did to San Jose State was not impressive, not defensively. Offensively, yeah, but we knew that, didn't we? I mean, did you watch Southern Cal? Like, do you have a higher opinion of Southern Cal's offense today than you did last week? No. You shouldn't. I mean, didn't we all know Southern Cal was going to have one of the best, if not the best offense in the country? I mean, Lincoln Riley has that every year. It's the defense. Now, Southern Cal could still make the playoffs. They've got a difficult schedule, especially the last 6 weeks. But, I mean, Southern Cal is going to be 6-0, 7-0, whatever it is. And then their last 5 or 6 games, they play Notre Dame, Utah, Oregon, UCLA. I mean, you know what? Southern Cal's schedule reminds me of Ole Miss last year. You know, if you were to pick out Southern Cal's toughest 4 games, they're all in the last 6 weeks of the season. Okay, let's pull it up. I mean, I talked about this 2 months ago when I did the Southern Cal prediction video, but if you look at this schedule, now that's the good news defensively for Southern Cal, right? They've got a month of sort of on-the-job training. I mean, they're not going to lose any of these games. I mean, they play Nevada this week. Then they play Stanford. Then they play at Arizona State. Then they play at Colorado. Then they play Arizona. They're winning all these games by 3 touchdowns or more, every single one of them. Even if they give up 28 points a game, they're going to score in the 40s and 50s on every one of these teams. But starting in the middle of October, at Notre Dame, home against Utah, at Cal they should handle, but then home against Washington, might have the best defense in the Pac-12, at Oregon. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. They could lose 5 of their last 6 games. Now they won't. They're too good of a team to lose all 5. But 5 of those 6 teams are capable of beating Southern Cal. Notre Dame, from October 14th on, Notre Dame, Utah, Washington, Oregon, UCLA. All 5 of those teams are capable of beating Southern Cal. None of the teams prior to Notre Dame are capable of beating them. None. I don't care how bad Southern Cal's defense is or how bad it gets. None of these teams are beating Southern Cal. Nevada, Stanford, Arizona State, Colorado, Arizona. None of those teams are so they're going to be 6-0. And they're probably going to have the number 1 ranked offense in the country on October 8th, the day after they play Arizona. But the last half of this schedule, brutal. And then they got to beat one of these teams again. Probably Oregon would be my guess. They probably got to beat Oregon again. If they even make the Pac-12 championship game. Whatever happens with Utah this week against Florida, by the time the Southern Cal-Utah game comes around on October 21st, Cam Rising will be 100% healthy, unless he, gets another injury or re-aggravates the knee between now and then. But the last half of this schedule is, look, how many teams in the country do you think could go undefeated with Southern Cal's last 6 games? And I'm telling you, there ain't that many. There ain't that many. A handful, maybe. 4 or 5 at the most. There aren't very many teams in the country that could go undefeated against in these last 6 games. Everybody can beat Cal, but look at these other games. At Notre Dame, at Oregon, home to UCLA, Washington, and Utah. There aren't but 4 or 5 teams in the country that could go undefeated over these last 6 games. Utah sucks. Did they suck last year, Octavian? Do they play Washington and Oregon back-to-back? I don't know. I just had the schedule on the screen for 10 minutes. Yeah, they play Washington at home and then at Oregon, November 4th and November 11th. Would USC's defense have done better against Navy? No. 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 USC gave up 200 yards rushing to San Jose State. Yeah, I know you beat Utah last year. I'm asking you if they sucked. You said Utah sucks. I wasn't sure if you're talking about this year or last year or both. But for whatever reason, you're not capable of answering the question. The Georgia man forgot we won, dummy. No, I didn't forget you won. I'm asking you if Utah sucked. You said Utah sucks. I'm just asking you if you mean last year, this year, or both. I don't know. It's a pretty simple question, but for whatever reason, you're not capable of answering it. Open Smoke Travels thinks Southern Cal's defense is better than Notre Dame's. That's you have to be the dumbest guy with an internet connection on planet Earth. I bet you wear slip-on shoes every day of the week. Unbelievable. Definitely the dumbest person in the chat for sure. You spelled your wrong. Which surprises no one. This year, Utah team is ass. Okay. What about last year? Lou, check your email. My little cousin just started his first semester at UGA and wrote home with this. He sent it to my uncle, and my uncle sent it to me. Want to hear something funny? Walking past UJ football team practice, and Dylan Bell just got called a no-good piece of shit that ought to go play for the goddamn Florida Gators. Kirby was going crazy. O-line must have been getting destroyed. He's on a loudspeaker just going. Yeah, I've heard stories like that, like that before. Wasn't it last year? Audio got released from somebody standing in the street. You couldn't see the practice, but he just recorded the audio of Kirby yelling at people in practice. What goes on in those practices is government secret, like Alabama's QB. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what's up, Skull? Good morning, buddy. All right, let's see what y'all think about this Florida-Utah game in the poll. 78% of you think Utah will win. What about, let's do one more. There you go. LSU or FSU? All right, Joey, take it easy, buddy. I keep saying I'm going to call in. I really need to. Yeah, call-in show tonight at 9. Call-in show tonight at 9. And remember, there won't be a call-in show on Thursday. I'll be live on Thursday, but the Florida-Utah game is on, so we're just going to live stream during that game. Is FSU still in the ACC? Yeah, we discussed that earlier. Bold predictions. Oregon State wins their conference but loses in the playoffs? You think Oregon State's making the play? Yeah, that is a bold prediction. One of the boldest that I've heard. Do you think the Florida-Utah game will be any good, or does Utah just run away with it? I think it'll be a good game. Great game last year. Great game. The U versus everybody. Yeah, and everybody is a huge favorite in that one. I have a feeling this week's going to drag. I don't know. I don't think so, because you got 5 days of games starting Thursday. So no, I don't think so. I think it's going to go by pretty quick. Oh, good morning, Monk. You had to come in here and see what we're doing? What you doing down there? Huh? What you doing down there? Monk. What you doing down there? You're up early. Don't you want to go back to bed? Okay. Okay, Mac. I have a brand new robe to debut for this coming Sunday's Your Season Is Over video, and I'm pretty excited about it. There'll be 2 Your Season Is Over videos this week. I'm going to do one on Sunday, like I normally do. That'll cover all the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday games. And then I'll do a shorter Your Season Is Over video on Tuesday morning, just covering the Sunday and Monday games. Where do you get your robes? But no particular place. There's not some secret robe store or something. The Georgia one that I wear all the time, I got it off the internet somewhere. One of these sports apparel sites. I don't remember which one. I've had it forever. The blue one that I wear, I think I got from Macy's not a long time, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. The one that I just got, I got off of Amazon. I ordered it last week, but it didn't come in. It didn't come in time for. It didn't come in until Monday. Was that yesterday? Yeah, it didn't come in until yesterday, so it didn't come in time for the first Your Season Is Over video. But it's here now. First hype and hate video. I'll probably do one for South Carolina. I'll probably do a hype and hate video for South Carolina. No, the other 2 robes that I wear, I didn't buy those for the Your Season Is Over videos. I just happened to have them. The Georgia robe, actually, I think was a gift, a birthday present or a Christmas present or a gift from somebody, I think. The blue one I bought, but not for YouTube. I just bought it just to have it. I don't remember why I started wearing those on the Your Season Is Over video, but no, I didn't steal any robes from Cherokee. Yeah, I stopped doing the hype and hate videos every single week a couple of years ago. It just kind of lost its appeal. I kind of save them now for either the bigger games or the rivalry games, or like I'll do South Carolina just because it's the first Power 5 game of the year. I mean, I'm not going to do UT Martin and Ball State. Come on. I mean, or UAB and all that. No. Probably won't do one for Vandy. I'll probably do one for Auburn because there's a lot of Hugh Freeze material. I'll definitely do one for Ole Miss. I like doing hype and hate videos for teams that we don't play every year. You know, it gets to the point, like even with Tennessee, I love doing the hype and hate videos for Tennessee, but it gets to the point where you're saying a lot of the same shit about teams over and over and over again. I mean, you can only make the joke about Smokey having Parvo so many times, you know. Nope, not changing the hash marks, man. Ohio State's just screwed. They're going to have to play with the same old hash marks we've been playing with for 100 years. I don't have a preference of who Georgia plays in the SEC championship game or the playoffs. People ask me that all the time. I don't, it doesn't matter to me. How hard would it be to create a hype hate playlist? Would love to revisit them all. Well, I make one every year. I've made one literally every year that I've done them. Go to the Uncle Lou channel. Click on playlists. Knock yourself out. Let's see. 2022 Hype and Hate playlist. (2021) Hype and Hate playlist. 2019 Hype and Hate playlist. 2018 Hype and Hate playlist. Is that when I started doing it? I think that's when I started doing it. Nope. 2017 Hype and Hate playlist. Yeah, so I already did that. I do it every year. What do you think of Georgia giving Brock Bowers reps at running back? I think it's a terrible idea. Yeah, I think it's a terrible idea. What are some things you want to see out of the Utah and Florida game? Well, Graham Mertz, how healthy is Cam Rising? How much better is Florida's defense than last year? How much of an impact is Florida's offensive line not being nearly as good as it was last year going to have on those two running backs? Because I like those two running backs. But I just feel like Florida offensively, when it comes to running the ball, I think, like I do think Etienne and Montrell Johnson, I do think those two running backs are good. I also think that those two running backs were helped last year by an above-average offensive line and a running quarterback that defenses had to respect on every single play. This season, the offensive line is not as good as last year, and you don't have a running quarterback. So I'm curious. That's not going to make Etienne and Johnson less talented running backs than they were last year. But I think it makes it easier for defenses to focus on the running backs when it comes to slowing down Florida's running game as opposed to last year. Just take like RPOs or zone reads. You don't really have to respect Graham Mertz's ability to pull the ball back and take off running. You just don't. Not that he won't ever do it, but like let's say if Florida's got the ball on their own 20-yard line, and they run an RPO or a zone read or whatever, and Graham Mertz keeps the ball, he's not running 80 yards for a touchdown. He might run 8 yards, 10 yards, 12 yards every once in a while and pick up a first down. He's not running 80. Anthony Richardson, from his own 10-yard line, can pull the ball out away from the running back and take off for a 90-yard touchdown run on any given play. Florida doesn't have that this year, and that does have an effect on the running back's ability to run the ball. So how much of an effect does that have? Is there any wide receiver on Florida's team that anybody needs to worry about other than Ricky Pearsall? Will Utah's tight end play? Braith. They lost Kincaid, who was their best tight end last year. But if you go back and watch that Florida game, it wasn't Kincaid who gave Florida problems. It was the other guy, Braith. And he's back this year. But it's not confirmed whether he's playing in week 1. He tore an ACL last year, too. He tore his ACL the end of September. Braith did, that tight end for Utah. Cam Rising tore his ACL in the Rose Bowl, January 1st. Neither one of them, we don't really know if either one of them is going to play for sure. And if they do play, how close to 100% would they be? Yeah, you don't know that, Octavian. How many years do you think Florida gives Napier? I've been saying for a while I think they'll fire Napier after the 24 season. 3 years. I think he's going to have 3 losing seasons in a row. You can't the Florida Gators cannot keep a coach who has 3 losing seasons in a row. That's unacceptable for any program really, but Florida in particular. Our passing game is better than last year. Well, yeah, but it can't be any worse. You had no passing game at all last year because you had Anthony Richardson at quarterback, and for whatever reason, 2 different Florida offensive staffs couldn't develop him, including the one you have now. Yeah, Florida could be better next year than they are this year, but have a worse record next year. That Florida's schedule next year is rough. Yeah, that was the best game of Anthony Richardson's career, was that game at Tennessee. But a lot of quarterbacks have the best game of their career against Tennessee, like Spencer Rattler, for example. Rattler looked like Tom Montana. Yeah. Slim Shady says, hot take, Florida and Colorado in the season with the same record. Well, I think if Florida's a little bit worse than people think and Colorado's a little bit better than people think, I think that's possible. Tennessee, man, beat UVA. Yeah, they play Virginia on Saturday. Hoghead, don't me and you have a bet on the Tennessee-Virginia game? And didn't you take Virginia? I think you did. I think Hoghead, I think you have Virginia plus 28. I've got Tennessee minus 28. Why am I more confident in Tennessee than Tennessee fans? Carshon Beck for Heisman, yeah. And he what is he up to, like fourth in the odds now? He's high up on the list. I'm kind of surprised. It's hard for me to buy into first-year players as legit Heisman candidates. Players that win the Heisman usually win it in the second year that they're good. You know, Caleb Williams didn't win the Heisman 2 years ago. He won it last year. It's rare to see a player win a Heisman with one good year. But let's look anyway. One, three, five, seventh. Carson Beck is seventh. Carson Beck has better Heisman odds than Bo Nix? I don't understand that. I know why he's got better odds than Drake May. It's because North Carolina is going to be a 3 or 4 loss team at least, and somebody with 3 or 4 losses ain't winning the Heisman. So I get, even though Drake May is better than Carson Beck, I get why Carson Beck's odds. Heisman odds aren't specifically this person's better than that person's better than that person. It's about who has the best chance to win, right? Cade Klubnik's another one. I don't understand how he's fourth. I don't get that at all. The guy, he's got a lower completion percentage than Ukulele. He's got more career interceptions than he does touchdowns. I don't understand him being fourth in the Heisman. Sam Hartman has moved way up. That's not a surprise. This is way too high for J.J. McCarthy, too. J.J. McCarthy could play college football for the next 100 years. He's never winning a Heisman. He's not a Heisman quarterback. Kyle McCord being this far ahead of Devin Brown might tell you something. Might tell you that Kyle McCord is starting. At least that's what Vegas thinks. Vegas thinks Kyle McCord is starting ahead of not Devin Brown at Ohio State. Where's the Alabama QBs? Jalen Milroe. Right here. Tyler Buckner. So Tyler Buckner and Ty Simpson have the same odds, plus 6,000. Jalen Milroe, much better odds at plus 4,000. So Vegas thinks Milroe's starting. Where's Harold Perkins? Marvin Harrison Jr. is the highest non-quarterback, plus 2,000. Blake Corum's the highest running back, plus plus 2,800. Travion Henderson right behind him at plus 4,000. Nick Singleton, another running back, Penn State, plus 5,000. Will Shipley, plus 6,000, running back for Clemson. Brock Bowers, tight end, plus 6,500. What happened to did the Heisman people give up on Perkins, or did I skip him? Here he is, Harold Perkins, way down here at plus 15,000. He's the highest ranked defensive player. Nick Saban knows that Bama is trash. That's why he doesn't want to announce the starters. I think Nick Saban and that Alabama staff clearly know who's starting at quarterback. They just don't want to say. Ohio State, on the other hand, I think the Ohio State staff is legitimately having a hard time determining who their best option at quarterback is. Like, I believe the Ohio State quarterback competition is a legit down-to-the-wire, last-minute type of back-and-forth deal. I think Alabama knows what they're going to do. If what everyone is saying about Alabama is true, that they've got the best offensive line in history and they're about to run up and just play murder ball or whatever people are calling it and just try to maul people for 4 quarters, if that's the plan, then 100% Jalen Mildew is their quarterback, and they know that. That has to be part of their entire offensive plan and philosophy for the season. If they're planning on pounding the ball 70% of the time or whatever, kind of turning back the clock to 10 years ago, then Jalen Milroe is the only option, in my opinion, at quarterback. I mean, we know he struggled throwing the ball, but in that one start that he had last year, who was it he started against? Was it Texas A&M? Didn't he have 200 yards rushing in that game? I mean, we all make fun of the throwing, but wasn't it? Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but let me just look it up. Maybe I'm totally off here. But I thought he had like 200 yards rushing. It seemed like he was just running wild in that game. It just seems like the obvious choice to me if that's what they're going to do. Here we go. Is this the game? Yeah. 81 yards. 81 yards. I don't know why I thought he had a lot more than that. It just seems like the obvious choice to me for what Alabama wants to do this year. If what everyone is saying and thinking is right, that they're just going to run up, line up and pound the ball, Jalen Milroe seems like the obvious choice to me. Is it the Arkansas game I'm thinking of? Somebody said it was the Arkansas game. Let me look. 91 yards. But that's a lot for, you're talking about 180 yards rushing in 2 games for a quarterback. I mean, that's a lot. A lot. Do you think Chambliss will play a bigger role this year? Probably, but I wish there was another option. I don't like him. Well, it's not that I don't like him. I just don't think he's very good. All jokes aside, with the change to the clock and murder ball, it could be very dangerous for everyone. People are overplaying the clock change thing. It's not that big of a deal. You're talking about 4 or 5 less plays per game on average, maybe. Lou, how do you think the clock running rule will affect the Tennessee? It's not going to affect the Tennessee offense at all. What about the clock rule would affect the Tennessee offense? They run plays every 5 seconds. ShamWow is better than Bama's offense. Who is the running back for Alabama now? Their whole season seemed to depend on Gibbs last year. Well, they got Jace McClellan back, but I don't think he's that good. And then they got a couple of really good freshmen. We'll see how good they end up being. Justice Haynes is one of them, which I like Justice. I mean, they're going to have good running backs. And their offensive line is going to be really good. Run blocking, anyway. We'll see about the pass blocking. But I think Alabama will have a good run game. A really good run game. They might have the best run game in the SEC. What's up, Cowpoke? Good to see you in here, buddy. Appreciate you helping to support the show. As always, you're good people, man. I really do appreciate all the support. Bama's going to run the ball. Play in half the first quarter is gone. So at best, 5 possessions will be the max, I think. Yeah, that's just not true at all. Excited about the O-line this year for sure. You're talking about Bama, I guess, right? I mean, the clock doesn't stop on first downs, okay? How many teams are huddling for 20 seconds anyway? Less than 5% of teams even huddle anymore. It's just not going to have that big of an effect. Maybe 5 or 6 less plays on average per game over the course of a year. Uncle Lou, what's your schedule for this week? Well, it's call-in show tonight at 9. Streaming the Florida-Utah game Thursday night at whatever. What time is that? 8, 7? Well, I'm streaming the Thursday night games. I'm streaming the Friday night games. I'm streaming the Sunday night games, and I'm streaming the Monday night games. On Saturday, I've got the 9 a.m. kickoff show, and then the Patreon stream, whatever time that ends up being, which the poll has been up for 24 hours. Let's see what it's at. It's really close, but right now, the 3:30 games are winning the Patreon stream. And you know what? I don't know why. I can't figure this out. Maybe y'all can help me. What is it I'm not seeing here? Usually the Patreon people vote for either the time slot that has the best games or whatever. But so let's look at Saturday. For those of y'all who don't know or don't care, I put a poll up on the Patreon page every Monday during the season. It says, pick a time slot that y'all want me to stream on Saturday for Patreon. Noon, 3:30, or prime time. They vote, and whichever time slot gets the most votes, that's what I stream on Patreon that Saturday. And they usually vote for whichever time slot has the best or biggest games of the week. So let's look at the Saturday schedule of games. If you look at the noon games, Virginia and Tennessee, Colorado and TCU. Those are two interesting games. Oklahoma plays. Iowa plays. So some interesting games. Michigan plays. So some interesting games at noon. If you look at the 3:30 games, now this is the time slot that's winning, okay? Ohio State at Indiana. That's a 40-point game. Boise State at Washington. Rice at Texas. Tennessee State at Notre Dame. Buffalo at Wisconsin. UMass at Auburn. Towson at Maryland, South Florida, Western Kentucky. There's really nothing. But that's what people are voting for on the Patreon page. I don't really understand that. It's like, to me, the noontime slot is much better than 3:30. And then, of course, the primetime slot is North Carolina at South Carolina, West Virginia at Penn State. Alabama plays in prime time. We can see who the quarterback is. Coastal Carolina at UCLA. I don't know. It seems to me that the 3:30 time slot on Saturday is the worst time slot of the day. It's just unusual. I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have thought they would have chosen the noon game, the noon time period. But at least as of now, it looks like it's going to be 3:30 Patreon stream. It's a little unusual. A lot of times when Georgia plays sometimes affects the Patreon vote, and Georgia plays at an odd time slot. They play at 6 p.m., so not really an afternoon game, not really a primetime game. So I don't know if that had something to do with why they chose 3:30. Not sure. Not sure. And and who knows? It could change over the next couple of days. So we'll see. Yeah, it's really close. Some Saturdays I'll do 2 streams. Every Saturday I do a Patreon stream, and then some Saturdays I'll do a second stream on YouTube on a second time slot. So if the Patreon stream is at noon, then maybe I'll stream prime time on YouTube. Or if the Patreon stream is at 3:30, maybe I'll stream noon on YouTube. I don't know. I usually don't decide those things on Friday or Saturday. So I don't know. I don't know yet what I'll be doing on Saturday other than the Patreon. I might not do another stream on Saturday besides the Patreon stream, since I'm already streaming Thursday night, Friday night, Sunday night, and Monday night. Yeah, Patreon stream every Saturday. Sometimes a second stream on YouTube on Saturday, but because there's games 5 days this week around Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and Monday, I might just do a Patreon stream on Saturday and not do a YouTube stream on Saturday. I mean, I'm going to watch the Georgia game, obviously, because I'm a Georgia fan. But other than that, there's no reason to watch the Georgia game. I mean, it's not even on TV, the Georgia game. It's on ESPN Plus, streaming. You're looking at this is going to be one of those 55-10 type of deals. It's just not even going to be worth watching, except if you're a Georgia fan and you want to see what the third stringers look like. The Georgia game is why I picked the afternoon time slot. I didn't know what time slot the Georgia game fell into. Well, what'll happen is I'll start the Patreon stream at 3:30, and I'll stream through the end of the 3:30 games, which is around 7 or 7:30. So that will include maybe the first half of the Georgia game, because it starts at 6. Clemson going to drop 50 on Duke. Yeah, I'll take that bet. Can you watch it on YouTube TV? What, the Georgia game? No, it's on ESPN Plus. You have to have ESPN Plus. I mean, if you have YouTube TV, then you can just log into ESPN Plus, but it's not a channel on YouTube TV. ESPN Plus is not a channel. It's a streaming service. Yeah. ESPN Plus is a streaming service. You watch it online. I think it is on SEC Plus as well. Yeah, ESPN Plus and SEC Plus are the same thing. SEC Plus is a part of ESPN Plus. Is Clemson's O-line still a concern? It should be. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. I got the Hulu, Disney, ESPN package grandfathered in. That's good. You can share Hulu passwords. That's good, I guess. Will Georgia have a game within 2 touchdowns for the first 9 weeks? Probably not. Let's look. I mean, there's a couple of games that will be a possibility of that. I think they'll be more than a 14-point favorite in all the games. UT Martin, Ball State, 40, 50-point favorites. South Carolina, they're a 24-point favorite, I believe, in that one right now. UAB, 40 points. Auburn, depending on what Auburn does against Texas A&M the week before, my guess is that Georgia will be somewhere between a 17 and a 20-point favorite at Auburn, but that could change if Auburn were to beat Texas A&M, or if Georgia were to lose one of these games, obviously. Kentucky, Georgia probably somewhere between 17 and 20 in that one. Vandy, 40-point favorite. Florida, probably a 3-touchdown favorite. Missouri, between 3 and 4 touchdown favorite. Ole Miss, 17-point favorite. And then the Tennessee game. Right now, I think Georgia's favored by what, like 8 or something in that game right now? But that number will change a lot, obviously, between now and the time the game is played. All right, Jonathan. Netflix is the only service currently cracking down on account sharing. Yeah, people get mad when they can't steal. No, you're not blocked. You should be, but you're not. Swamp Kings was good. Netflix did a good job on it. I don't know. I heard it was that's not what I heard. Don't share the Roku? What does that even mean? Roku isn't a streaming service. Potable Roku, Ice to be a Blento, share accounts. What? No, I haven't seen the Bishop Sycamore documentary either. Ice to be a Blento. That should be a new thing we type everywhere. Ice to be a Blento. Eric Gilbert was arrested this morning. Oh, no, that's not true, is it? Man, I hate that. I hope one of these days we find out what the real deal is with him. Let me see. Oh, man, burglary? Oh, man. Nebraska tight end Eric Gilbert arrested Tuesday on burglary charge. Arrested on a burglary charge Tuesday morning. He transferred to Nebraska. Gilbert was taken into custody Tuesday morning. That's it. Additional information not available at this time. I mean, we got to see the details before we jump to any conclusions. I mean, did he break into a stranger's house and steal their jewelry? Or is this some kind of a dispute with a teammate or another student over, whose iPod is this? I don't know. But I hate that for him, though. I don't know. Maybe eventually we'll get the full story on what all was going on with him. He spent almost a year in a rehab facility while he was enrolled at Georgia. He was at a rehab facility in Atlanta. At least that's what I was told. Eric Gilbert was seen running out of the house yelling, "Ice to be a Blento." All right, y'all know what we have to do. All these other people that do live shows, we have to show up in their comment section and just randomly type "Ice to be a Blento." Just whatever other live shows you might watch on YouTube, just type "Ice to be a Blento." Not talking about any of them in particular. People still type "apologize" all the time. Remember that one? This one? Write it on a college game day sign. Now that would be great. Yeah. Is anybody planning on going to college game day this weekend in Utah? Are they? Wait a minute. Is that where college game day is going? Where is college game day going? They're going somewhere on Saturday, aren't they? South Carolina, North Carolina. They'll be in Charlotte on Saturday. They'll be in Charlotte on. Anybody going? If anybody's going to game day on Saturday, please make a game day sign that says "Ice to be a Blinto." Gilbert robbed a liquor in a vape store. Oh, man. Is FSU still in the ACC? Ice to be a Blinto. Ice to be a Blinto. Why is Charlotte abbreviated CLT? Well, that's the airport code. Game day will definitely be in Tuscaloosa next week. Yeah, probably for that Texas-Alabama game, yeah. Yeah, somebody needs to make a game day sign that says "Ice to be a Blinto." With a LouTube logo on it. This logo. Ice to be a Blinto and a YouTube logo. No, they haven't announced where they're going for week 2, but it'll probably be Texas and Bama. If they go to UCF this year, I will, says Smata. Yeah, not sure if game day will be headed to UCF this year. Could game day go to Georgia Auburn if Auburn is undefeated? My guess would be no. But let's look at the schedule of games again for that day. Is that week 5? All right. Here's the list of games on week 5. So where might game day go? Georgia, Auburn, Michigan, Nebraska, LSU at Ole Miss is ranked versus ranked. Southern Cal at Colorado. South Carolina at Tennessee. I mean, you know what? You know what? Maybe. If Auburn is undefeated, they'll be ranked by that time because they play Texas A&M. So they would have to have beaten Texas A&M to be undefeated. And it's not like there's some huge game that week. LSU, Ole Miss is a possibility. I get a feeling they're going to want to go to a Colorado game. So Southern Cal at Colorado, I think, would be a possibility. I think South Carolina at Tennessee may be a possibility. There's no obvious choice for this week, though, that I see. I mean, I think Georgia at Auburn has just as good a chance of getting game day on this day as any other particular game does. It is a rivalry game. Roku is like Fire Stick. Yeah. Roku's not a streaming service. It's an access point to get to your streaming services. You know, if you don't have a smart TV, you can buy a Roku stick, plug it into your TV, and now you have a smart TV. Georgia's not getting a home game with game day. Probably not unless Ole Miss is really good. If Duke beats Clemson, they will be ranked when Notre Dame comes to town. Let's see who they play after that. Clemson, Lafayette, Northwestern, UConn. Yeah, if they beat Clemson, then they'll be 4-0 when they host Notre Dame. Boy, wouldn't that be wild to see College game day at Duke hosting Notre Dame? Well, I don't know, because game day is going to be at Ohio State, Notre Dame, aren't they, in week 4? Game day will probably be at the Ohio State Notre Dame game right here. Don't know if they would do a Notre Dame game 2 weeks in a row. They might. Portable Roku comes with an account. Don't share it. Roku's not a streaming service. There's no one running around sharing Roku accounts. There's nothing to share. I used to be a Blento on that. Game day went to Times Square. Yeah, I remember that. Was that 4 or 5 years ago? Something like that. I remember that. I thought that was kind of dumb. Game day needs to be on college. It's bad enough they're moving college football games off of college campuses. Now they're moving game day off of campuses too. Yeah, I didn't like that. Now, I do like it when like once a year they go to some random small Division II or FCS type place. I do think that's kind of cool. What are you doing, Mom? What are you doing, baby? What are you doing, baby? I think I'm going out to eat Mexican tonight. My kids asked if we could go to Mexican tonight, so it looks like that might be what Uncle Lou's plan is. Oh, you know what else too? Game day food for this week. So 5 straight days of college football means 5 straight days of heart attack food. Which I'm pretty excited about. No, I went looking for green peanuts. When was that? Friday, and I couldn't find any. So I'm going again tomorrow to look, and I'm hoping I can find some. But I couldn't find any Wednesday. Friday. And I went when else did I go? I went Sunday too. So I've been to between Friday and Sunday, I went to 3 different places. None of them had green peanuts, raw green peanuts. So I'm going to go looking again tomorrow. I'm hoping I can find them. But I know I'm doing jalapeno poppers this week. I don't know what days. Thursday through Monday, we got football games. So spread out between those days, I'm doing jalapeno poppers. I'm doing, y'all know what a cheese ring is? I'm going to do a cheese ring. I'm not sure on Tommy fries. I had Tommy fries last week. So I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do the Tommy fries again. We'll see. Oh, I think I want to do chicken wings too. I think I want to do Wingstop. Chicken wings, jalapeno poppers. I'm going to do a cheese ring. I've never done that before, but I've eaten them before, but I've never made one myself. What else? I think I'm going to do a fruit bowl and a vegetable tray. Maybe meat and cheese too. A meat and cheese deal. Yeah, I went to Kroger on Friday. They didn't have them. That's where I normally get them from, is Kroger. They didn't have them on Friday. I'm not making chili when it's still 100 degrees outside. So it'll be a while on the chili. I don't know if Wingstop is my favorite, but it's the easiest and the most convenient. My favorite wing places around here are like, they have these Chinese places. They're not Chinese restaurants, but they're ran by Chinese people. And they usually sell like fish, Chinese food, and chicken wings. It's a strange combination of things to sell, but there's several of them around here. Not like a chain. They're all individually owned, but they sell Chinese food, fish, and chicken wings. And I'm not talking about Chinese chicken wings. I mean buffalo wings. And those places are usually the best. But Wingstop is the most convenient. And Wingstop is pretty good. I wanted to get the peanuts by tomorrow so I can make them on Thursday. I can cook them all day Thursday and then eat them 5 days in a row. Yeah, that's a good point. Traction Jackson makes a good point here. Traction Jackson in the comment section says, ice to be a blinto. That's true. That is true. That better not be true, Slim. Chimichangas? I don't like chimichangas. When it comes to Mexican, I'm pretty basic. I usually get 2 soft tacos, rice, and beans. Yeah, I'm going to go tomorrow and look for the green peanuts. Wednesdays are usually the days that I do like any running around that I have to do. I don't have a morning show on Wednesdays, so that gives me like an extra couple of hours a day. That frees up an extra couple hours a day. And Lou Jr. doesn't have soccer on Wednesday. So I don't have to like quit work early or whatever to do that. All things being equal, ice to be a blento. Yeah. I could see that. I could see that. Steak nachos? I like chicken nachos. I love steak, but as far as nachos go, I prefer chicken nachos. I had chicken nachos Saturday for week 0. That was my game day meal for week 0. Chicken nachos. But yeah, I'm going to do jalapeno poppers this week, boiled peanuts, a cheese ring. Might do Tommy fries. Going to do chicken wings. And then some combination of fruit bowl, vegetable tray, meat and cheese tray. I think that's going to be the plan for this week. You know, chicken wings, I'll get 40 or 50 of them, you know, enough to eat for a couple of days. And then the rest of that stuff is like snack food. Well, jalapeno poppers, you got to eat them. Well, I guess you don't have to, but I only make as many jalapeno poppers as I plan on eating at the time. Those things aren't, I mean, you can reheat them, but they're not the same. They're not the same if reheated. But cheese ring, fruit bowls, vegetable trays, all that I can eat on multiple days, you know, between Thursday and Monday. What are Tommy fries? They're potato wedges, potato chunks fried, and then covered in like 3 different kinds of cheese, bacon, and ranch dressing. And they're made at a restaurant here in town called T-Bones. It's a steak restaurant, obviously. Buffalo chicken dip. You know, Buffalo chicken dip is like probably the most popular make at home game day food. I've just never, I mean, I've eaten it before and I liked it, but I've never made it. It's not something, I don't crave it. I can do with or without it. But it's very popular. Every football party I've ever been to, somebody brings a buffalo chicken dip. Oh, you know what else I like and is easy to make is that Rotel dip. I guess I need to save something for the rest of the season. I guess I don't need to do it all. I guess I don't need to do everything in week 1, but 5 straight days of games though. What you doing, Matt? You tell me if we gonna wear? You know you can go back to bed if you need to. You trying to go back to bed? Sloppy Joes? I love Sloppy Joes. I love Sloppy Joes. Sloppy Joes and French fries are a hell of a meal. Hell of a meal. I guess at least once between Thursday and Monday, I need to make an actual meal. I don't know. I've got some pork chops in there. Maybe I can do something with that. You know what else sounds good I haven't had in a while, and I think I have it in there too? Salmon fillets. I'm not a big fish eater, but I do like salmon. Pulled pork sandwiches. Yeah, you can never go wrong with that. I love a barbecue sandwich. Boudin balls. I used to be a blinto. And crawfish etouffee. I could do without that. I am going to New Orleans in November, though. So maybe I'll have some boudin balls and crawfish etouffee when I go to New Orleans in November. Yeah, low country boil good, too. And easy to make. I mean, you put everything in a pot and let it cook. I mean, it couldn't be any easier. Yeah, Boudin. Boudin. President Boudin. I don't do a lot of cooking on game day because I work 15 hours a day on Saturdays. But if the lady is over here, she'll, like, you know, if I do jalapeno poppers, she'll make them, I hope. I try to get stuff that's just like heat and eat, you know, chicken wings or just finger foods, you know, vegetable trays, fruit bowls, meat and cheese, cheese ring. I'm excited about that cheese ring. I haven't had a cheese ring in years. I love those things. Cheese ring and Ritz crackers. Gator bites. I had gator bites when I went to see Celine. Was it last year? It's the only time I've ever had them. But they were good. They were good. What's up, broski? This just in, Saban has announced his starting QB. He said, quote, "Well, yeah, since I said the players don't know, then said they really do know, I thought I should tell the media. Ice to be a Blinto will be starting." Ice to be a Blinto. Ice to... Yeah, that's the thing about Ice to be the Blinto. I mean, yeah, it's good, but who have they played? You know? Who they play? All right, everybody. It's after 10 o'clock. I didn't even realize that. I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate y'all tuning in, though today. The call-in show tonight at 9. I'm excited. Start of the season. I'm expecting the call-in shows to really pick up steam. The call-in shows are fun year-round. I mean, let's be honest. We got some entertaining callers. I've been lucky to attract some entertaining callers, regular callers to the call-in show. But during the season is prime time for the call-in show, so I'm looking forward to kicking that off tonight at 9 o'clock. So come hang out with us on the on the main channel tonight for that Uncle Lou After Dark call-in show. Should be a good time had by all. I hope everybody enjoys their Tuesday and the rest of their week. Thursday night live stream, Florida versus Utah, will start around 7:45 for an 8 o'clock kickoff. Have a good Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a good morning. And just let me leave you with this parting wisdom. Ice to be a Blinto.